Hey, what's up, guys? Britton here, overthought and understated, blogs and vlogs and all that fun shit. Sorry I've been out of the game for a little while. I've been having some technical difficulties with my recording equipment, so I'm actually recording this on a cell phone. Hope the quality's good enough. Also, I've been living in London, England for the last 6 months, working on my MA thesis in philosophy, so I've been pretty busy with that as well. But anyway, about a year ago, I made a video called Why Bumble is Better Than Tinder. I'll post a link to that in the description below. And I gave a few reasons for that. The first being that women, generally speaking, are the final arbiters in whether or not a relationship or a sexual encounter is going to continue. It's like they kind of make up their mind and communicate in a number of different ways, mostly nonverbal ways, as to why or why not they want an encounter to continue. So I touched on that. Also, I made that case on the basis that on Tinder, women get way too many messages, and it just seems like a pain in the ass to try to sift through them. And also that their 24-hour clock that they have on Bumble is like a microcosm of their biological clock. So whereas in real life, a woman has a limited amount of time to select a mate to have kids with, it's kind of the same thing on Bumble. After you match with a guy, you have 24 hours to message him, and if you don't, he's gone forever. So anyway, again, I made that argument on the basis of very little experience with Bumble, but after having experienced both apps to a great extent, in two different countries over the course of about 10 months, I found that Tinder is still king of dating apps. It's by far the most popular dating app in the world, and it just works better in the US and in the UK. And I remember making my Bumble case on the under the condition that eventually Bumble might catch up to Tinder in terms of user base. But that still has not happened, and I have a few reasons why I don't think that's going to happen, which are also in turn reasons why Tinder is still better. And that is that Bumble, having a lower user base, still you get fewer proportional matches on Bumble than you do on Tinder. So that's not just overall matches. That's if you adjust them proportionally, you still get fewer matches on Bumble than you do on Tinder. And of those girls who you do match with, fewer of them, if any, will message you. So I think this comes down to the fact that actually a few commenters in my last video pointed out is that at the end of the day, women still prefer men to be more assertive. And actually they enjoy getting a lot of messages and sifting through them, kind of laughing at some of the funny and ridiculous ones and picking out those gems, those ones that required a little bit of effort. And those, generally might tend to be the more interesting guys who they spark up a conversation with. So women generally still want the man to be assertive, and they like to kind of pick off of the top of the, whatever dominance hierarchy is being created toward them as a potential mate by the men. Also, and it's also something they can do with their friends, like girls can do with their friends is sift through all, like who has the funniest messages from these guys, like that's why a lot of girls, I think, say, oh, I'm just on here for fun, for the entertainment. It is entertaining for women. It's more serious business for men who are like either just trying to get laid or perhaps just trying to, find a good relationship, but would still be open to the possibility of getting laid. So I think generally speaking, women are no more or less variable in terms of what they're open to experiencing from Tinder or from dating apps. Whether it's sex, short-term flings, or relationships, but they prefer the man to kind of step up and be a man and assert himself onto her and let her decide whether or not he's worth her time. So yeah, what else can I say? I guess what a dating app is just a platform that allows you to be exposed to whatever dating pool is in your area. And I found that both in New Orleans and in London, the dating pools are very large, especially if you're a man. There are plenty of single women, and there are plenty of options for plenty of different potential experiences that you could have. And Bumble tends to restrict your options more than it opens them up, because at least as a man, you're offered the opportunity to send a girl a message, to put some effort into it, and to spark a conversation that could continue on organically on Tinder, whereas on Bumble you're limited because you don't even get that opportunity to approach the woman. And I don't think that's really a good thing, because that's not how mate attraction interactions actually work in real life. Generally, the women are the final arbiters in deciding whether or not a relationship or sexual encounter will continue, but they prefer the man or men to assert themselves onto them so they can sort of pick off the top. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that right now. That's me changing my mind and saying that actually Tinder is better than Bumble at the end of the day. Despite my previous argument, let me know what you think. If you think this is a better case for Tinder than I previously did for Bumble, and maybe we'll have some discussion in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.